This show is called Search for a Cure, and for the first time since the pandemic began, that search took a major step forward this week. Pfizer putting out interim results from its vaccine trials, and they are big. 2 shots showing at least 90% efficacy in inoculating patients against the COVID-19 disease. Those results still preliminary, and phase 3 clinical tests will continue, but the development marks the biggest milestone yet in the race for a coronavirus cure. Joining us now is Giora Griffel, a participant in the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine trial. Full disclosure, Giora is a relative of one of our colleagues here at Cheddar. Both he and his wife were among more than 43,000 people who volunteered to be part of this Pfizer trial. Giora, welcome to the show. We are so excited to talk to you and hear about your experience. Why did you and your wife first decide to participate in this trial?
Well, my wife is an employee of Mount Sinai. She's a researcher. She took part in the early study of various treatments for COVID. She did it from home in Princeton. Sometime in August, we went to Mount Sinai to meet the people that she's working with, the physicians. And one of them, while talking, mentioned that they're working on a vaccine experiment. And they are looking for volunteers. And I immediately jumped on it and said that we are willing to volunteer.
What was the process like to be accepted in the trial?
Well, we came to Mount Sinai. We were screened. They wanted to make sure that we didn't attract the virus beforehand, and we already carried the antibodies. So they made sure that we are okay for that. Then we came a second time. That was sometimes I think it was the end of August. They explained to us the process. They explained to us how it works, and the fact that it's a double-blind experiment. We 50-50 chance of getting the vaccine or sailing water. We won't know about it, and they will not know about it. And then we got the vaccine twice. There's a first shot, and about a month later, there's a second booster, what they call. And basically, that was it, other than following up and seeing if it's successful, if we have any side effects.
As you're going through this experience, how do you prepare mentally and physically for a trial like this?
Oh, there wasn't much preparation. I was pretty much assured that it is safe. I understood the science behind it. I was actually excited to, maybe get a real vaccine and be protected, and of course you think about the fact that you join an amazing effort to cure the COVID as quickly as possible.
And like you mentioned, Giora, you weren't sure if you were getting the actual vaccine or you and your wife were getting the placebo. So what side effects did you experience, if any?
Well, we knew that if we get a placebo, other than getting excited, there won't be any side effects. We came back home. After the first shot, there were a couple of days of feeling kind of the onset of flu, dizziness, body ache. After the first shot, I felt okay. My wife had some fever. It went away after one day. The second time around, it was the opposite. She felt a little sick. I was a little more severe. I have a little fever. I believe it was 101. But after 2 days, it was gone. And I got up and I was as good as new. And basically that was it. Nothing really significant happened after that could be related to it.
Well, we're so glad you two are feeling better. Did the vaccine end up working? Do you have antibodies? What did you learn after taking part in this trial?
Well, they did run a blood test after, but they wouldn't tell us if the vaccine is working or not. We went and we did a blood test, and we confirmed that we are okay.
That is great news.
That we had the real vaccine and we have the antibodies.
I have to ask then, Giora, are you concerned about possible long-term effects considering you and your wife were one of the first who could have received this vaccine?
I'm not a scientist dealing with it, but I have a little background and I understand the process. I know that they are not using the actual virus or even a weakened form of the virus. It's basically a miraculous genetic engineering that triggers the body to generate the antibodies. I'm pretty sure that it is safe, and I'm pretty comfortable about it.
You know, there is a lot of Americans who are a little reluctant, even fearful of getting the vaccine. What would you tell these people who might be a little reluctant to do this?
Well, first of all, as far as the vaccine, like I said, nothing in the vaccine has anything to do with the real virus. It's basically giving the body a program, it's called messenger RNA, to generate a molecule that it's a third time removed from the actual virus. What I would tell them is, look, the risk of not taking it is significant. While only 2% of the people get really seriously sick, you do stand a chance of something fatal happen to you, and you protect yourself. You protect yourself. You protect your surrounding. You protect the world. We are lucky to be in this situation. You know, the first flu, the Spanish flu of 1917. Took over 20 years to develop the vaccine. Here, it's a blazing speed, and we can already protect ourselves. I would recommend it wholeheartedly.
Before I let you go, I have to ask, what happens now? What's the next step? Do doctors tell you to follow up? Do you have to go back in a few weeks, in a few months?
Sure. The follow-up continues for 24 months after we receive the vaccine. Even though they approve the vaccine and they start administering to the general public, they will continue follow-up with us. We will report to them if we feel anything significant happening, and we go to the hospital every couple of months to get screened. But basically, that is it.
Well, again, we are so glad you two are feeling better. Special thanks to you. Such a fascinating interview. Giora Griffel, who participated in Pfizer vaccine trials. Thank you again, sir, for sharing your story.